This will be the last video of the Equity in the Distribution of Income mini-series, and also the last video of the Government Macroeconomic Objectives series. In this video, I'm going to talk about other measures that the government uses to promote equity and the whole debate or let's just say conflict between equity and efficiency when it comes to this debate. So let's continue. In the previous video, I talked about the role of taxation in promoting equity. This video will look at government expenditure and transfer payments. So government expenditure can also be used to promote equity. The government can directly provide or subsidize. So it could either directly provide or subsidize goods and services that are socially desirable. Goods and services like healthcare services, education, infrastructure like sanitation and clean water supplies. This should help in a way bridge the gap between the high income earners and the low income earners, or bridge the gap between the rich and the poor. So the government can either directly provide these goods and services or subsidize private firms that provide these socially desirable merit or necessary goods and services. Transfer payments are also a way that the government can use to promote equity. They can also be used to promote equity. Transfer payments are payments that are made to low-income individuals without any corresponding exchange or change in output. So they are made without anything in exchange, no good or service in exchange. Examples are old age pensions, for example, to help retired elderly people to be able to afford necessities. Unemployment benefits. Remember how we talked about how a loss of a job or unemployment can be a cause of poverty? Some governments provide benefits or a stipend for the unemployed to help them afford their basic necessities. Child allowances to help afford the basic necessities of raising children, especially if the family is a family in need. So these are all examples of transfer payments. They are payments made without anything expected in return. Now, whenever economists talk about equity in the distribution of income, there's always this debate of to what extent is equity and efficiency, to what extent are they in conflict? So government policies to promote equity. We've seen three: taxation, government expenditure, and transfer payments. Okay? Taxation. First of all, taxation provides necessary funds for government expenditure. However, it can be a drain on taxpayers and can cause disincentives to work. People might stop working hard if they feel like every extra dollar they earn, they have to pay a lot in taxes out of it. An effective government taxation policy needs to be equitable, meaning it needs to take into consideration the people's ability to pay. It needs to be economic, meaning the cost of collecting the taxes should be as low as possible so that you get enough revenue and you're not spending too much just to collect the taxes. Should be convenient, easy for the taxpayers to pay, and should be certain, easy for the taxpayers to predict how much they owe in taxes. Now, government expenditure as a way to promote, a measure to promote equity, it's costly to taxpayers and it entails an opportunity cost. Everything that the government spend money on, that's spending less on other things that it can spend money on. There's always an opportunity cost. And it can hinder economic efficiency. People or firms can become reliant on government expenditure and government support. The same with transfer payments. They are costly to taxpayers and they entail an opportunity cost. And some economists argue that they can encourage laziness among the workforce. If your transfer payments are too generous, it might encourage laziness and people sort of taking advantage of these transfer payments. So you should be able to evaluate each of those measures to promote equity, talk about their advantages and disadvantages, and how there is, economists disagree on how to strike the balance between equity and efficiency. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.